Most people believe attraction develops slowly. They imagine it grows through long conversations, shared interests, and time spent together. But something surprising often happens before any of that. Within the first few minutes of meeting someone, the brain quietly begins, forming impressions. These impressions are not spoken out loud, and sometimes people aren't even aware they are making them. But those early moments often shape how someone feels about you moving forward. This doesn't mean everything is permanently decided in 5 minutes, but the emotional direction of the interaction usually begins forming right away. Many men miss this because they focus on saying the perfect thing. In reality, the first impression is influenced much more by subtle signals than by words. The way you carry yourself. Before a conversation even begins, your presence already communicates something. The way you walk into a space, the way you stand, and the way you move all send signals about how comfortable you are with people. Naturally notice posture, eye contact, and the 5 Playpling by 0a2paulus.com and of a Relieberments, calmness or tension in someone's body. Someone who appears relaxed and self-assured creates a very different first impression than someone who looks unsure or overly tense. True confidence rarely looks dramatic. Instead, it appears through small things like steady eye contact, relaxed movements, and a calm presence. These signals are processed quickly, often before the first real sentence of the conversation is even finished. The emotional atmosphere you create. Once the interaction begins, the emotional atmosphere becomes important. Some people approach conversations with pressure, as if they need to impress the other person. Others approach conversations with curiosity, ease. That difference is noticeable. When someone feels relaxed, the conversation naturally flows. When someone feels tense, the interaction can feel forced or uncomfortable. Women often notice emotional tone very quickly. Within just a few minutes, they can sense whether the interaction feels comfortable or slightly awkward. And comfort is one of the strongest foundations of attraction. The attention you give. Another detail that shapes early impressions is attention. Many people assume attraction comes from talking well, but the ability to listen often creates a stronger impact. When someone listens carefully, responds thoughtfully, and shows genuine interest in what the other person is saying, the interaction begins to feel meaningful. On the other hand, when someone interrupts frequently, waits impatiently to speak, or constantly brings the conversation back to themselves, the dynamic changes. People naturally enjoy conversations where they feel heard, and feeling heard often creates a sense of connection very quickly. The calmness you show in small moments. Confidence is often revealed during quiet moments. When there is a short pause in the conversation, when something unexpected happens, or when the interaction becomes slightly unpredictable, the way someone reacts says a lot. Some people become nervous and try to fill every silence. Others remain calm and comfortable in those moments. That calmness signals self-assurance without needing to prove anything. People who appear relaxed in uncertain moments often stand out because they create a feeling of stability and ease. The emotional impression you leave, the most important part of the first few minutes, is not always what is said. It is the emotional impression left behind. When someone walks away from an interaction, they usually do not remember every detail of the conversation. Instead, they remember how the interaction felt. Did it feel easy? Did it feel natural? Did it make them curious to talk again? Those emotional impressions form quickly, and they often influence whether someone wants to continue interacting in the future. Attraction rarely begins with a loud moment where everything becomes obvious. More often, it begins quietly through presence, energy, attention, and emotional comfort. Within the first few minutes of meeting someone, the brain begins shaping an impression that can influence the rest of the interaction. Many men overlook this because they focus too much on what they should say. But the strongest impressions usually come from something simpler. The way you carry yourself, the calmness you bring into the conversation, and the feeling someone experiences when they interact with you. Sometimes the decision begins forming long before anyone says a word.